Well, to react to what we saw last night, Herc and Kasey join me. Kasey, best team won?
Yeah, I think so. I think it was a pretty evenly matched, I think, throughout. But I do believe I think if you always, I think as an ex-goalkeeper, you look and see which goalkeeper was busier, and I think Ayese was busier than Clark. I think Portland took great advantage of set pieces. Obviously, they got their 2 goals, but the second goal really came from a good save, which led to a corner, which then led to another good save, which led to another corner, which eventually they got their go-ahead goal. So, I thought Portland did a great job of really making things difficult for the attacking group for Orlando. I thought, Nani was influential on their goal, but I think for the most part was held at bay. I didn't think Mueller was really much of a factor. Akadelia wasn't much of a factor, so I thought they really did a good job of limiting Orlando with the opportunities, and like I said, took advantage off of the set piece chances that they created.
On that point, Herc, how much was it that Orlando didn't turn up on the day, or how much was it that Portland contained them?
Portland. All Portland. Portland really frustrated Orlando. Orlando had a flying attack. The last time we saw Orlando this frustrated was opening day of what MLS is back versus Inter Miami. It was a very kind of stalemate game, very just not great on their part. And, well, this is credit to Portland. Portland and the way they play. We knew that they were going to defend first, be compact, and go on the counter. But they really stifled any type of creativity that Orlando could really set up in the final third. You've already touched on, Kasey already touched on Nani and Chris Mueller and how frustrated they were. Pereira as well. Even the subs who came on, they could never really break down that stingy Portland defense. And listen, Portland has been about defending well and countering and set pieces. Labiala's goal was, the fifth time they scored on a set piece, a league-leading MLS is back 5th time. They really know who they are. They know how to go about their business, whether that's pretty or not, that's another question. But this is a team that's sort of built for these tournament styles, and you have to give Giovanni Savareses a lot of credit. His first season, he took them to an MLS Cup. His second season, semifinals of a US Open Cup, and now champions of MLS is back.
Yeah, it's interesting, and you make that point, Herc. Obviously, big picture, what does this mean for Portland's chances in the regular season and beyond, looking ahead to MLS Cup, Kasey?
Yeah, I think it was touched upon in the broadcast. I think that, this Portland team isn't the youngest team out there. I mean, you think of, Diego Valeri has been, excellent for Portland for so many years, but now he's taking a little bit of a lesser role. Chara as well has been fantastic for Portland for so many years. And, he still covers the ground, but maybe not quite as much as he did in years past. So they're pretty much set up that they need to be successful quickly because they're going to age out in a few very, very key positions. And I think it was great for Portland to be able to do as well as they did in this tournament. And now it's really a case to see how can they do that long term, going into this new kind of abbreviated regular season, which I think will benefit them as well, because it isn't that long grind starting in March. And yes, they did a great job in the bubble, and that is a grind in itself. But it's to see how that aged team now can respond for the rest of this year.
Do you agree, Herc?
I do. And listen, I'm going to go back to Giovanni Savareses and just really quick, because what he's been able to create here in Portland is something that every manager should take into account. He comes in immediately and he sets a culture, a competitive culture. Immediately he had these moments of friction or of clashing of minds with Liam Ridgewell, the captain of the team. One of the biggest personalities they have in that locker room. Fernando Ari as well. He took him to the side. If you're not with me, you're against me, and you're out. And that sets the tone for a competitive nature within that locker room. And you look really down this roster, especially in that final third, the competition there. He's got Sebastian Blanco played at an MVP level. He's got Diego Valeri buying that you're not an everyday out-and-out 90-minute player to be effective. This speaks volumes. And yes, abbreviated season and whatnot, it'll be, in theory, on paper, easier for Portland, but also easier for the rest. And Portland's coming off an emotional high, but also a physical toll, and going immediately into a situation where they now have to play every 4 days. That could take its toll as well.
Kasey, overall, the tournament worked, didn't it?
Yeah, very much so. I think you have to give MLS a lot of credit. I think when we saw what happened with Dallas and Nashville at the beginning, I think there were some question marks on, was this thing going to happen or not, or was it going to kind of implode from the inside? And I think give everybody a lot of credit within the bubble, within, the Disney complex, the teams themselves, the testing, everything that they did to ensure that it came off, and it came off very successfully. And I think now we're excited to see teams get back to their home stadiums. Now, what will that look like? I think we're seeing that, some states, some cities will be able to have some limited fans in. Some obviously won't be able to, but I think give this MLS back tournament the credit that's due. And there was a lot of question marks going in, both from, the team side, from the media side, and they pulled it off.
Gentlemen, as always, thank you very much. Well, you both mentioned, of course, the regular season kicking off. We have got you covered on ESPN Plus, a plethora of games coming up over the next few days. Well, thank you very much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming, premium content, and let's not forget as well, ESPN FC 7 days a week. Subscribe to ESPN Plus.